America, welcome back to Travel Secrets with TV's Dave Galvin. Today we're going to talk about something that happens every single day in travel. And honestly, some people don't even realize they're doing it until it's way too late. And that topic is vacation mistakes that cost people thousands. And I'm not exaggerating here. One bad decision on a trip can absolutely destroy your budget. Flights, hotels, rental cars, passports, they're scams. There are so many little mistakes that snowball into complete financial disasters. And the crazy thing is, most of these mistakes are totally avoidable. Perfectly intelligent adults suddenly become completely reckless the second they book a trip. They start saying things like, yeah, my cruise leaves at 4 p.m., but my flight lands at 2:45. I should be fine. Yeah, no, you're not going to be fine. That's not confidence. That's gambling addiction with luggage. One of the biggest mistakes people make is booking the absolute cheapest flight they can find, no matter how ridiculous the itinerary looks. And airlines know people do this. They know people will suffer for $40 in savings. So people book flights with 2 layovers, overnight airport waits, connections in different terminals, different airlines, and layovers so short, you're going to need an Olympic sprint training to make them. Then something small goes wrong. Maybe weather hits Dallas. Maybe there's a delay in Chicago. Suddenly the whole trip collapses like a folding chair at a family reunion. Now they miss the cruise. Now they lose the hotel night. Now they're buying last-minute airfare that costs triple the original ticket price. I've seen people lose thousands because they tried to save a few $100. Cruises are the worst for this for some reason. And I always tell people this. If you're taking a cruise, fly in the day before, not the same day. I don't care how lucky you think you are. Airlines smell confidence and they punish it. Then there's travel insurance. People love bragging they never buy travel insurance. They say it like they survived combat. I've traveled 20 years, never needed it. Okay, that's fantastic. Truly, I'm very happy for you. But travel insurance is like a fire extinguisher. You don't buy it because you expect disaster. You buy it because if disaster happens, you don't want your life destroyed. And people assume their credit card covers everything. Well, sometimes it does. Sometimes it covers basically nothing except emotional disappointment. You have to actually read the policy, and most people don't. They just see the words travel protection and assume they're covered for every possible problem known to mankind. Meanwhile, the fine print is written like an ancient curse. Then somebody slips on wet tile at a resort in Mexico, and suddenly they're finding out what international medical bills look like. Spoiler alert, they're horrifying. What most people don't realize is their health insurance most likely doesn't cover outside of the United States. So if you sprain your ankle, get hit by a bus, get trampled on by a rowdy soccer mob in Europe, your health insurance isn't covered. Travel insurance will help negate that. Whenever I leave the country, I always get travel insurance. And while we're talking about money disappearing, let's discuss airport currency exchange counters. Those places are unbelievable. You walk up thinking, I'll just pick up some cash real quick. And 5 minutes later, you're somehow donated half your vacation budget to a machine. The exchange rates at airports are generally terrible, and people make another mistake overseas all the time. They use their card somewhere, and the machine asks, would you like to pay in US dollars? And people think, oh, good, that sounds easier. No, it's a trap. Most of the time you want to pay in the local currency because the bank often gives you a better exchange rate than the random machine trying to finesse tourists. For the love of God, tell your bank you're traveling before you leave. Nothing ruins a vacation faster than your card getting frozen while you're standing sweaty and confused in another country trying to buy aspirin and bottled water. Okay? Be sure to just give them a call. Now let's talk about overpacking. People pack like they're evacuating Earth permanently. 3 giant suitcases for a 5-day trip. What are you bringing? Construction equipment? Airlines love this because now they get to charge baggage fees, overnight fees, oversized baggage fees. Pretty soon they'll charge emotional support fees for your suitcase needing encouragement. And the more bags you bring, the more chances something's going to get lost. That's another expensive mistake people underestimate. Lost luggage can wreck your budget fast because now you're buying clothes, chargers for your phone, medication, shoes, etc. All because your bag decided to vacation in another country without you. And honestly, most travelers wear about 20% of what they pack anyway. Nobody in Italy cares if you repeated a shirt. They're too busy living their lives. Now, another gigantic mistake people make is booking resorts based entirely on photos. This one gets people constantly. Resort photographers deserve Academy Awards. These places look like heaven online. Crystal blue water, you get the smiling couples, beautiful rooms. Then you arrive and suddenly the ocean view means if you lean off the balcony hard enough, you can see a puddle between two buildings. I've had that happen to me before. The food tastes like cafeteria mystery meat. The beach is nothing but rocks. Construction is happening next door. The air conditioning sounds like a lawnmower fighting for survival. And people end up miserable because they booked based on price alone. Sometimes spending a little bit more will save your entire vacation experience. Cheap vacations can become very expensive emotionally. And now rental cars. Oh boy. Rental car companies operate with the energy of a supervillain organization. You walk in exhausted after a flight and suddenly they're hitting you with insurance, fuel plans, total packages, upgrade offers, deposit holds, and enough paperwork to refinance your house. Then people decline coverage without understanding what their own insurance actually covers internationally or even nationally. That becomes a very expensive lesson after somebody scrapes a wall in a parking garage in Rome. And always take photos of your rental car before leaving the lot. Every angle, every scratch, every dent, because some companies absolutely will try to pin old damage on you faster than a toddler blaming the dog. I used to always recommend Fox Car Rental to everyone because I found them to be a very affordable option for a rental car. However, recently I've noticed they really are trying to nickel and dime me. So I recently turned over to a place called Turo, T-U-R-O, Turo, which is sort of like an Airbnb, but for cars. People actually rent out their cars at destinations. And I actually will save a couple $100 over the Hertz price. I thought I was a gold member and getting the best price. Turns out I can get a better price on Turo. So I'm actually recommending that to people these days. Now here's one that completely destroys vacations instantly, which is passport mistakes. This one shocks people because they think my passport exists, therefore I'm good, which is wrong. A lot of countries require 6 months of validity remaining on your passport. Some require blank pages. Some require visas that people forget about completely. And airlines will deny boarding immediately. That's it. Vacation over. International travel, the airline will stand there and make you show them their passport to make sure it's going to be perfectly valid once you get into the country. They don't want to be stuck with you. Imagine losing thousands of dollars because you discovered your passport expires too soon while standing at the airport check-in counter. That is a brutal way to start a vacation. And then there's scams. Tourists become targets because vacation mode makes people careless. It happens to everybody. You just got to mind your P's and Q's. Some guy walks up wearing a fake badge saying he's an official tour guide, and tourists are like, oh, that sounds legitimate. Meanwhile, the dude probably invented the company a few minutes ago. There's such a thing as fake taxis. There's such a thing as fake excursions, ATM scams, pickpockets, even fake police scams. People lose huge amounts of money because they let their guard down, especially travelers trying too hard to look rich. Nothing says rub me more like designer luggage, giant jewelry, and holding a map while spinning it in circles, looking terrified. And finally, one of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to do too much. People will attempt, 4 countries, 7 cities, and 19 attractions in 1 week. That's not a vacation, it's an obstacle course. They spend their entire trip stressed, exhausted. They're hauling luggage through train stations, sleeping 4 hours a night, and taking blurry pictures they're not going to remember. Some of the best travel memories happen when you actually experience a place instead of sprinting through it like you're competing on a reality show. At the end of the day, travel's supposed to improve your life, but bad planning, overconfidence, and trying to cut corners will ruin your dream vacation and turn it into a financial nightmare very quickly. Honestly, people who usually get hit the hardest aren't inexperienced travelers. It's the people who think they know everything. That's when the universe steps in and humbles you. Well, thanks for listening to Travel Secrets with TV's Dave Galvin. That's me. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with somebody who desperately needs to hear it before they accidentally book a 20-minute international layover during hurricane season. And remember, you can always get the best advice at timeforyourvacation.com. Travel made simple. We'll see you next time.